Greetings everyone, welcome everyone to Let's Play for a Day, a game I only play once, and afterwards nevermore, and today we got in bright golden letters, Shovel Knight. So, this game was created by Yacht Club Games. It was a kickstarted game in 2014, and it is a retro-style 8-bit platformer. And I am a huge sucker for these, and this one is actually made really well. I'm a big fan of this game. I actually wanted to do a video of this a long time ago, but I just never got around to it. It is basically a mix between Mario, Castlevania, Megaman, DuckTales, just basically all good platformers, and just made a really good mix out of it. You will see like the different elements of it, but it doesn't feel ripped off at all. It feels very well made. But alright. I should stop that. Let's just get into the game and you will see everything for yourself. So we're just gonna pick which save is it? The save, yes. Yes, you could see it had the name No Death on it because that was my No Death run. But I'll talk about the challenges later. You can see this is the overworld, and it is basically about you start all the way to the left, your adventure, and it is about freeing your pal Shield Knight, which she got captured by the evil enchantress, which is in this case Dr. Wily or Bowser or whoever the hell. And in order to get through to her, you have to defeat her eight knights. Eight knights of no quarter, I think they're called, which are, let's see, King Knight, Spectre Knight, no, not Dive Knight, Mole Knight, etc, and also, of course, for example, Plague Knight. So, might as well just give this fella a try, because he's probably my favorite of all the bosses. Also, his stage is really kick-ass, because I just like this theme of this mad alchemist and his lab with all different contraption and everything, and yes, it is pretty beautiful. But I have to say, in the end, all the bosses have their charm. They all have this characteristic. They're not just like Megaman, where they're just kind of there, like, hey, this is Nightman who has a mace and just is in a medieval castle level. No, it actually has much more charm. They actually have like character. You actually have a little dialogue with them. It's not much, but it helps at least establish who they are and what their interests are. Although they're pretty cookie cutter, but it helps at least like establish a little bit of the thing. Also, the stages are just brimming with personality. You can see that, like, everything is just creepy and no, not creepy, but it just shouts mad scientist at you. Or, well, it's kind of weird because his name is Plague Knight, but except like those plague rats, exploding plague rats, I would say, there isn't much. He's more alchemist guy. He has like a plague. He's wearing a plague mask, but that is kind of the only thing that is plaguish about him. Also, secret. So yeah, basically the gist of the game is get through, get money, as you can see, or gold, and defeat all the King Knights. You also got like, I can go to the screen, you got like various relics that help you, that are like, I wouldn't say weapons, items you can use, like the face locker that makes you invulnerable for a quick moment, the throwing anchor, which is essentially like the throwing axe from Castlevania. There would be also other relics, but this is my no death was my no death run, with also the speed run, which I finished. Actually 100%ed this game, but then the game had the audacity to bring out a free add-on. What douchebags! So I'm actually currently on 100%ing the game again. So this is basically just showing it off. Showing off one part of the game. There will also be, of course, other things, other items, but I just basically skipped them. That one you just saw is the face locket, which I picked up because I think it's basically on the way anyway. Plus, it is probably one of the most overpowered things, because you could see it makes you completely invulnerable, which is, well, it is really good. And you can see it uses like mana, but you actually pick up a lot of magic on the way. And of course, it also health upgrades and also magic upgrades, which makes you hold more maximum mana, etc. So there's a lot of uses. But there are still easy ways to die. For example, instant death spikes, which aren't those on the barrel, Nope. Those on the ceiling are instant death. Because logic. Because the other ones are too tiny. Also, it's not like we're wearing full armor, which I would say should protect us from measly things like spikes, but no. This is 8-bit video game logic. Also, secret area again, but I think I'm just gonna... let's just go through. Although I kind of dislike these guys, because those night guys are actually kind of tough to, see? Ha! Yeah, suck it. I found down there. I don't care about you. Oh! Hey! No! Oops. Ah! I never figured out a really reliable way to fight those guys. There we go. This basically should be flashing back. This... oh yeah, this is a guy that actually sells the items you can unlock. Usually I just skip this because they're usually like hidden away like in this part. Because this was a speedrun run, of course I didn't get that, but I can get the alchemy coin. Oh yeah, this one is fairly useless. I remember it barely using it at all. Because basically it tosses a coin that just rolls forward and murders everything, but not particularly useful. But might as well just get the riches here. And run! Oh Jesus, there's a plague right in the way. Ah! No! I don't want to be fried, thank you very much. But yes. One thing, of course, you can already hear in the background. The soundtrack to this game is fucking kick-ass. I love it so much. It also has like this great 8-bit feeling. It reminds me a lot of like the typical Capcom games, which also had really good music, and this one isn't any different. I think this one, in this game, for example, oh yeah, you can break checkpoints for even more money, but you can't use the checkpoint anymore. And I think this stage specifically was actually not... There was a main composer, but some songs were actually made by others. For example, this one was... can I say the name? Manani Matsune, I think. This is probably everyone that can at least decent Japanese, can speak decent Japanese, is probably cringing right now. She was actually the composer of one of the Megaman game, the first Megaman game. So it was actually kind of interesting to see her collaborating on this one. And I have to say she composed 2 songs, and both of them are actually one of my favorites of this game. And the nice thing is, the second stage I'm gonna play with the other character is actually gonna be the second song she composed, so maybe it's just because she... I think it's not solely the composer, but in general it's just really nice. Also, mini-boss, which is a old guy that turns into a giant beast, which I just poke on. This is basically the DuckTales element, but I really like it for that. It actually is a useful, decent mechanic. Is he dead? No. It's just transforming back. Come on, man. Don't have time forever. I don't really like killing old people, but oh well. But yeah. Yeah, I think I've talked about the story. It is really basic, but I mean, it serves the purpose. One thing, though, the reason you can see... I can actually just demonstrate it. What happens when you die is this. No lives lost, but you lose a bit of money. So this is nice, but also kind of sucks at the same time, because you can pick it up again easily, and you will lose nothing. But it creates a problem of the balancing problem that the game gets easier for good players, but the game gets harder for bad players. So what I saw is actually that many people complain about how hard this game is, and I was like, what? Because I don't really want to brag, but I actually finished this game without... I think I died like to one boss because he had one of the... not robot masters, thing guys, because he had an instant death element to it, which kind of sucks. But in the end I didn't die to a single one. I heard like so many guys like, oh my god, this guy is kicking my ass and whatever the hell. And that is the problem, because I've barely died or almost got with all the money away. Of course I was really stocked up on life, because you can upgrade your magic, you can upgrade your maximum amount of lives, etc. So because I always barely lost any money, of course, my character was really good. He had like a lot of health, etc, etc. And this is kind of the problem, because that's why the game wasn't particularly challenging for me on the first run. Of course, the challenge runs, or there's also New Game Plus, which is much harder. It is definitely hard. But this kind of creates really the problem that, Oi, let me anchor you. It is, but the thing is also, I'm also not a big fan of lives, because lives are just kind of It's just, it is a obsolete kind of thing, because lives used to be there for playing in arcades, so you can, because running out of lives basically meant, alright, you're gonna insert a new quarter. If you don't insert a new quarter, then you can't play anymore, so come on down here. I can just throw an anchor. There we go. So it is actually kind of hard to balance that. Oh, I think I am out of magic to use the invulnerability thing, which just kind of sucks because I could use it here because that guy is a humongous douche. All right, let me come up and kick your ass, buddy. No potion throwing in my class. There we go. So yeah, it is probably the best way to balance it, but at the same time it just kind of sucks. But alright, we actually made it to the boss. This one is, like I said, my favorite boss, but to fight him he is probably the most annoying boss ever, because considering his name is Plague Knight, he is the exact opposite of Plague. But we'll see that. No, I won't do voice acting. But you can see he has like a little bit like a characteristic. You can see he's basically this cackling kind of maniacal with the Doctor's Plague mask, which I also really like. And yes, this is the boss fight. Basically, for somebody that is about Plague, which is basically about decay and murder and whatever the hell, he is so incredibly agile. It's really horribly annoying because it's so hard to get a hold of him, because he also teleports around, he does this, he does that. He just goes completely apeshit and is so annoying. It's fun to fight him, but it's so tiring because it's so hard to get like him into a consistent pattern because he just teleports around so much. There's like no like decent tactic to beat him. It's basically just a war of attrition. You just try to murder him as quickly as possible. It is a fun fight, but boy is it an annoying one. Nevertheless, I love it. But yes. Oh, I forgot to show off one important feature about Shovel Knight, but maybe I can do that before I switch to the audio character. So this is... oh yeah, this is just basically transition screen. There are sometimes like little story parts, which are really kind of nice. Right, let's get up. And of course, as a true Shovel Knight, you also dig up your thing. One nice thing also is about this game is also you can duck. That is ducking. And the nice thing about this is you can do that also during cutscenes. So it's kind of nice that you can just bop up and down. You can also bop to the music, and this is something that made much more fun than I thought it would, because it's just nice how you can just bop up and down. But yeah. One thing I could also just note about the map screen, for example, is that there are also like random encounters. You can see the boomerang guy, for example. I think he's a character designed from a Kickstarter contributor. And yeah, there's also much more stuff. You can see there's much more in the background. There's another one, Mold Knight. And yeah. But let's switch to the other character. Which will probably be very familiar to you. Because it's gonna be... where he is. Yes, there he is. It's Plague Knight. So now I have to figure out which one is the current save I'm using. I think it's this one. Alright, so Plague Knight. This guy was part of the add-on that came out called Plague of Shadows. Yeah, Plague of Shadows, something like that. And you can see, you basically play through the whole campaign again, because the story in this case is that he wants to brew a potion for unlimited power. Yeah, unlimited power. Well, at least that's what the accomplice thinks of Plague Knight. We'll meet her later. But in reality, which is kinda... I find it really, really cute, is that he just wants to ask takes the wants the potion to have courage to ask her for a date. Isn't that beautiful? Also, dancing. This is what you can do if you hold down with Plague Knight, which is of course also story related, because he would really like to dance with her, with his little love interest, but he's way too shy. But okay. Now, the reason why I probably haven't played through... I'm currently on New Game Plus with him, so I have way more options. Like, I have basically all the items, all the stuff. And Plague Knight just... I have to say, I'm not a big fan of him. You can see he walks sluggishly, like he has turning speed, unless... Also, he has a double jump, and what also comes is that he has like a boost. And as a basic attack, he has bombs. And with those bombs, you can see there is a truckload what you can modify about the bombs. You can... that they bounce, that you lob them, for example, so that you can throw them in a mark. You can say that he just simply drops them. You can say that they float upwards. And there are also different casings. You can say spark powder, cluster bomb, cluster powder, component, etc, etc, etc. Also you can say should it impact on explode on contact, standard fuse, long fuse, etc, etc, etc. This is actually probably one of my biggest gripes. And also, of course, there are also like bursts, which is the thing that I did when I jumped. You can also say, for example, when I burst, I want him to let it snow. I usually just use the float burst because I want to fall more slowly, so I can control my fall easier. And he has normal spells as well, which are a truckload. He has basically you can give him a normal basic attack, so he can actually like strike. And there are also many others. For example, he is actually kind of ridiculous with his mobility, because you can see this is, you can double jump, then you can also start with surging, so you can, or even more ridiculous, the VAT, which is even more ridiculous. That, for example, you can burst jump, double jump, then make a VAT, then jump over here, and then float even more, and then make another VAT. It is pretty ridiculous how mobile you can be with this character. It's also not that easy to, honestly, to control. So, and the thing that annoys me probably the most is you will quickly see that, because basic attacking with him is a little bit obnoxious. Because you will see in this stage especially, which is by the way my second favorite stage, which is weird because it's a water stage, and water stages usually suck, but this one is actually really good. It's also the second track Manani Matsune contributed to the game, and I really love it. Oh, I can throw in, what is it? There. Bait bomb. Boom. Oh, I don't want that. Yeah. These tonics would give you extra health, but in this run through there's an achievement for not using those. Let's see what we actually want. Yeah, let's take the Staff of Surgery. Because that one is pretty good to just save you from falling into a pit. There are like so many ways to save you from certain death, it's actually kind of ridiculous. Also, I should not get hit that much, because there aren't that many ways to heal. Ah, Jesus. How do I... See, for example, now if I want to attack this guy, I have to get into the menu and select a different bomb, because I can't just do it normally. Can I actually... Apparently I can't hit him from here. Ow. There we go. This is basically what makes this pretty annoying, and that's why I don't like playing with this character so much, because for the simplest things you have to go to the menu and swap out and change the bombs in some way, which makes it really obnoxious to make him... not obnoxious, but just kind of tedious. Like, I understand like different bomb modes, but what I don't understand is why you have to like for F and everything. Like, it would be great if like lob and drop would be kind of like default. For example, if you hold down that you can... Whoa, that was close. Like, if you hold down, you can... Oh, because this is New Game Plus, by the way. This won't be something delicious, it will be a fucking bomb, because New Game Plus doesn't mess it around. Like, it would be great if like the default, like throwing up or throwing down would be like a default thing instead of having to collect it. Like I said, if you hold up, that you can use this. If you hold down, that you can that you can lay down the bomb instead of just going to the menu and switching it out, because it does go on for quite a while, because you could see how long it always takes to go to the menu and change this, change that. Otherwise, Plate Night plays pretty interesting. That was stupid. And I think this makes me go all the way back to the... Yes. It's also been a while since I played Plague Knight, so bear with me for a moment. Alright, you know what? Ignoring the enemies actually makes the stage go pretty fast, because I just basically ran past everything. But yeah, that's... I could go for the goal, but the thing is I'm fully upgraded because of the new game, so there's basically no reason for me to get this stuff. But Greed will probably get me anyway. Yeah, worked. Yeah, this is kind of the... Like, I like to really add... I mean, it's an absolutely free add-on. I mean, this game is $15, and they actually released a completely full add-on with all the... Oh, this guy. Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore you, because that's the best thing to do is Plate Night sometimes, because it's really awkward to hit stuff. Oh dear. No, no. At least those staff things actually makes it a little bit easier to hit stuff, because basically you have a little bit of like different kinds of attack, because like I said, if you're in midair you can see he always throws it downwards. And if you're basically too lazy like me to actually go into the menu and change the means of attack, it is usually this is what sometimes happens. You like, oh, this would be so much more convenient if I would go to the menu and change the attack to like lob casting, but usually you're just, nah, I don't want to, and you end up taking unnecessary damage, which shouldn't be a thing. Like I said, it would be much better if you just could like also like. Okay, the problem is also, of course, the bomb times are kind of different. I could probably just use a different kind of bomb, like, for example, what could I take? Like black powder, for example, the standard bombs. It's just that what also Plate Knight uses in the boss fight. But there's also, for example, let's take the cluster bombs. The problem is there's only one at max. So while this one is out of exploding, I can't use another one. But it does a lot of damage. Like, you can hit, like, it's good against bosses which basically remain stationary for a long time. That's what they're kind of nice for. But usually I like the sparking bombs, because they can do a lot of DPS. Also, treasure. Or is it? Or is it a giant angler fish that is more an angry fish currently? Because for some odd reason he doesn't like people poking his nose. Yeah. Yeah, you can see you have so many means of like mobility and dodging, and it's pretty nice, but at the same time it's almost a bit overwhelming. Also, I'm not hitting that. Oh dear. That was pretty good. You know what? This time it actually makes sense if I switch to lob casting and use the cluster powder, because he is basically stationary with that thing. Oh, could have dodged that if I used the Staff of Surging. Well, I think there's gonna be a thing soon anyway. Checkpoint. But you can see every time you have to go in and switch back, and hey, a worthless relic. Yes, that's where you get the throwing anchor from, as Shovel Knight, but for Plate Knight are completely useless, but in town you can basically trade them for your other stuff. Also, you know what? I'm just gonna tactically kill myself so I can go back to the checkpoint here with full health. Because, well, no reason to not do that. Also, one thing I noticed is sometimes it's actually really easy to murder the checkpoint accidentally. Especially as Shovel Knight. Because there was one stage in particular which made me destroy the checkpoint so many times and I had to restart the level. Because there was like one part where you had like poke down as a Shovel Knight. And also then basically like do the pogo thing, but also have to like unpogo so you don't destroy the ground underneath you, because the ground underneath you was full of lava. And ground underneath you full of lava is kind of annoying, or kind of not good. So you should like to avoid that. Oh yeah, one thing I could also show is the steer screen, for example. Relic, the chemical cloak. There's also like different effects. Shovel Knight also has like different kinds of armor, health upgrades, the Tuple Chalice. Oh, I have to show the Tuple King. And the music, collectible music. Also, there's also these cipher coins. I would say they're... Oh no, I got all of them in this stage. They're actually pretty hard to find. You can see those grayed out things that are cipher coins I already collected. But some stages are actually really hard to find. Also, one thing that you notice about the stages is they look made for Shovel Knight, and sometimes they're just kind of pointless for Plate Knight. For example, Shovel Knight would have needed to like have moving platforms to get over, but as a Plate Knight you can just say, fuck this shit. Same exact thing here. You don't even need those rocket... You don't even need the moving platform. This is also what makes some stages kinda iffy. Oh god, I hate this. Wait, what? You know what? Because... where is it? There. Smoke Cloud. It is also makes you invulnerable, but it was nerfed. Well, it was nerfed to a decent degree because you can't just be invulnerable for a limited or a long time. It's basically just you can just walk with it, but as soon as you get out, but yeah, you can see how bad those bombs can mess people up. Hooray, gem, more money I don't need. Can I actually use those again? Oh yeah, I can. But I don't want to ride it. Alright, so where's the last... I hope there's... Ooh, carrot. There's actually restorable health. Also again here, as Shovel Knight you actually need the anchor in order to progress. As Plate Knight you just say, fuck that shit, I don't need the anchor. Why the fuck should I bother? I just float over it. Also, alright, I can actually hit it. Oof. That kinda made me pee my pants. Ah, this guy. I hate these guys so much. Because they're kinda hard to hit. Although as Shovel Knight are even more annoying because they're in mid-air. Shovel Knight doesn't have that many means to attack people in mid-air. Oops, I didn't mean to use my item. There we go. Good. That guy's gone. I could actually use a different, more useful selectable item, I would say, because the bait bombs are usually not that useful. Hello there, bomb! No. Please do not do that. I could actually just do it the normal way. That is how Shovel Knight would traverse that. I wouldn't really need to do that as Plate Knight, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. Because I think down there is, yeah, another Anchor Knight. You can see that also they have like different colors and like different means of attack. He has those anchors, the green one we encountered that... Oh, hey, I was about to say, why are you... It didn't move, so I actually assumed that this thing was just not there, but now I lost health. Which is kind of unfortunate because I think the boss might kick my ass. Because fighting bosses... Oh yeah, he's just... Fighting bosses as Plate Knight is actually pretty tricky because, as you can tell, he's really, really bad at close combat. And of course, basically all the thing are, of course, close combat people that jump in your face and die. No, Treasure Knight, I think. Isn't any different. That is a bomb, thank you very much. But luckily there's a checkpoint, so... Let me see, what is the best mean to attack him? I could also just use the cloud to attack him. Yeah, let's use that. And here we have Treasure Knight. Because for his potion, he needs the essence of all knights. He also defeated Shovel Knight, who was in the Explodatorium, which is of course his place. So... Yes. Something far more important than mere gold. Yes. Yes, his essence is obviously greed. Yeah. But the nice thing is I have a lot of airtime. Ow. Oh, he's already dead. Well, those electricity things are completely and utterly overpowered. I imagine it, although there's one boss who is called Helicopter Knight, And he's a huge pain as Plate Knight. I wonder how the refight will go, because I died so many times against him, because he's full of fucking death pits. But yeah, this is, by the way, Mona. Yes, Mona. She is the girl of his dreams, I think. Like I said, he wants to brew the potion for her, so he can finds the courage to confess his love. And I really just like she actually was also in the regular game of Shovel Knight, but she just had like she was just as a mini game host and did not do anything else. Also, if you try to dance, look at him, he's so shy. It's so lovely. I think if you go on screen beyond, yes, there he dances. And this is the laboratory of your goons or minions. But you can do this too. Fuck you. Wait, this guy does what exactly? Ah. Ah, this is the... Yes, 125. That was one. And I think this is where I can, yes, get the mana upgrades, which I already have, and this that is, how's it called again? Percy! Yes, I think he is the one that gives you can get the new bombs from. Also, this thing plays all the different musics. Yes, there you can play the different tracks. But one more missing I have to do. Fuck you. Because there is the so-called Tuple King, which I first have to pay a visit to, because this has to be. There he is. Because he's the one that teaches you how to dance. And I just want to show you this as a last thing. Dance! Now, if that wasn't worth it, I don't know either. That was probably the best minute of your life, seeing a part apple, part trout with a crown on top dance the waltz of the Tuple King. But yeah, this is essentially Shovel Knight. I think this is most things I can tell. I could probably like show off some challenges, but yeah, a Plague of Shadows. I think I said that right. But yeah. This game I can ultimately recommend. It is so much fun to play. The add-on, like, I don't really like the gameplay of Plague Knight that much, but in the end, that was free content. It's like a completely new campaign with different stuff, so why should I bitch about that? And nevertheless, I'm still probably gonna 100% this either way. So, like I said, I can hardly recommend it. I bought it like for $10 when it was on a sale, and I definitely don't recommend it. I also heard that there might also be more add-ons about others of the Night of No Quarter, which also sounds really, really great. Like, I am really curious if there's gonna be even more stuff in this. But yes, Shovel Knight, I hardly recommend it. I was Yost, I was Kaushmar, and au revoir.